organizations over the last 20 years, companies have scaled Agile horizontally. They've added more and more teams to be able to deliver, potentially deliver faster, but they're not seeing the business value being returned. The next step now is taking Agile to scale so that you can build agility within the entire organization. And enterprise level agility is new, but it is expanding. We're seeing that about 20% of the respondents to our surveys have adopted Scaled Agile Framework or SAFe. 19% employ large-scale Scrum or less. 10% employ Disciplined Agile Delivery 2.0 that focuses on taking a disciplined team approach and raising it up to the planning, product planning, and portfolio planning levels. So 56% have adopted Agile at the team level. We then asked the same respondent body, how many of you have taken Agile to an enterprise level? And 49% responded that there was some sort of formal Agile adoption at a broader than team level, with SAFe being the most frequently adopted framework. And I can say anecdotally in the interactions I have with our clients on a day-to-day basis, that SAFe is the preferred framework for most organizations.
Yeah, we're seeing that too, and I should note that's part of what drove Planisware to include support for Scaled Agile Framework in our 6.3 release earlier this year. But that's an important number. 46%, give or take, are actually using one of these scaled or large-scale approaches, at least sometimes, right?
Yeah, and I think in the reality, what I have seen is that organizations are taking little bits of all of the frameworks that are out there. These are by no means the only frameworks that are targeted at taking Agile beyond the individual or multiple team level and taking it to the enterprise level. There's also Nexus is another framework that's coming into its own right now as an enterprise framework that comes out of the scrum.org world. And I think that what we see is most organizations are taking what works from them from all of the frameworks that are out there and adapting it in order to adopt enterprise agility. But even with that, scaling has its challenges, Matt. I mean, over half say lack of buy-in for behavioral change. That's the most significant challenge for an organization, is that you aren't just expecting your developers to change, but you're really expecting your overall organization to think differently about how they plan and deliver products. A third of them cite incompatibility of existing budgeting processes. When you put those two elements together, that is a real stumbling block. That's a significant barrier to getting the level of organizational and process change that you need in order to be able to make the transition. We still see, a good percentage of companies sticking to the small scale effort at the product level, and it drops down when organizations are trying to prioritize at a value stream level. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. Only 20% of the organizations that we surveyed said that they have scaled to the enterprise level where it has impacted their strategic planning. They've transformed their strategic planning and their financial planning in order to be able to build business agility throughout the entire organization.